You are now entering Echoes, a studio drum bass podcast.
Here's Zombie Cat.
What's going on here?
Yo, this is Visage.
Hey, this is Wings.
Hey, this is Fentix.
Hi, this is Synergy.
Hey, this is Rayman.
Yo, this is Rizzo.
And you are listening to
Echoes.
How's it going? My name is Emily Makis and I'm so excited to bring you Studio Drum and Bass's brand new radio show, Echoes. Echoes, Echoes, Echoes. We've got some never before heard bangers from 1985 music, Onyx Recordings, Galaxy and many more. Plus, we'll be speaking to the legendary Ant TC1 of Dispatch Recordings about how to get your track signed to a label. But you're here for the tunes first and foremost, and starting us off we have Visage, a four-man production troupe from Toulouse with this deep, dark melodic tone that really allowed them to put their mark on the genre. So without further ado, from 1985 music, Visage with Gymnopédie.
This is Visage,
and you're listening to Echoes,
the Studio Drum and Bass podcast.
Smooth. That was Visage with Gymnopédie. Excuse my French. Don't judge me in the chat. Next up, we have one of the fastest rising labels, Overview Music, with Annex on production, mellow muted keys, a dominant bass line, and a dusky vocal that always gets you thinking. It's called Bright Light.
The dim light in the room, it seems bright when you're low. I've been tied to a vibe with my eyes on gold. I've been quite provoked as it goes, just never been the type to be shown. I've never been the type to be owned, so we do it on our jack, walk the path on our own. In your car flat, yard of your boat, play a chant for the soul. Take charge, I've been told. Nice scarf on my heart for all them dreams I've been sold. It's a quick evasion when my demons involved. They just see me when they see me, then they won't. It's easy when you flow, creep around the clones. It seems to be the reason I'm alone. They won't believe you till you grow. Just play a charm from the soul.
That was Annex with Bright Light featuring Dusky. And you know I'm partial to an introspective vocal, so love that. Our next track is from Porto, Portugal's finest, Molecular, with releases on Sofa Sound, Skank and Bass, and Delta 9, where this will be making its home. A massive project for them, their 100th release, massive LP on the way. This is called All Systems.
What you're going to hear now, and here it comes now, pre-recorded on a tape which was made by this incredible electronic instrument. It can do anything but stand up and take a bow. It can produce almost any kind of variation on pure sound. Anyway, what do I know about oscillators and patch panels and all that jazz? The thing about it that really interests us today, are you ready? Pair decompression chambers, force field operative, all systems. And here it comes now.
Mediterranean crew, where you at? Don't be shy, say hello. I am friendly, I want to see all your lovely faces. Next up, we have Talim and Airglow with Pandemic. Wonder what the inspiration was for that title, eh? So this release is 4 tracks of in-your-face, big breaks and rugged bass, bringing a sound together that's fully future, but also has scattered echoes of the past. And this one's out on Rebel Music, which is a London-based label focusing on the deeper side of D&B. And after this track, I had a wrinkle in my nose, so prepare yourselves, because this one is hard.
Project, and you're listening to Echoes from Studio Drum and Bass.
Going to make that sound in this podcast. I'll try and keep it to a minimum. Actually, maybe not, because we've just come to the portion of the podcast where we play Studio Drum and Bass's favourite premiere of this month. And you might know this one. It comes from the unstoppable Monty. Been making major waves in the game since he first appeared on the scene, with support from Critical Music, the North Quarter, and many more. You can just tell this guy is an absolute production unit, and the music speaks for itself. I'll hand you over to the capable hands of Monty with whatever you need from 1985 music. whatever you need, baby, whatever you need. Getting into that one. Okay, that was Studio Drum and Bass's premiere of the month, and now onto a brand new track. A beautiful, truly beautiful number from Thread, out on Impact Music, called Eyes on You. This one has some reverby atmosphere that really fills the whole soundscape, and a load of elements and nuances in the front that make this track special and surprising. Big ups to my Bristol gang. This is Thread with Eyes on You. Have it, that was Thread with Eyes on You, and we're completely switching up the vibe now with this Wings remix of Dubshun Mind Games. And Dubshun's just landed a 3-tracker on Context Audio, which hasn't been announced, so I'm honoured to be the one to break the news. See, on Echoes you get the secrets, yeah. You've got Dubshun, known for his minimalistic style, and then you have Wings, one of the most consistent deep producers in the game, having just released an acclaimed EP on Overview Music, and trust me, this one is deep. Alright, I hope you're fully in the zone now. We are keeping with that industrial vibe with a track from Surge called Club Shower, and this is coming out on Encounter. It's the second project for Encounter, which is made up of 3 labels: Hands On Music, T3K Recordings and Sign Function. This one is premiering on Studio Drum and Bass in May, as are most of the tracks on this podcast. And for my description of this next one, I've just written gritty hard. So you get the gist. Basically want my brain to explode before the end of this podcast. Gone. And from that industrial sound, I am going to take the dive and thrust you completely into the depths of darkness, or should I say deep water, because this track is called Deep Water Drills. The producers are Grim Hellhound, originally from Russia, and they're returning to Husky Records, a Paris-based label with a raw 2-tracker. I've always been intrigued by D&B from Russia, and I feel this is the perfect example of why. So here we have it, Grim Hellhound with Deep Water Drills. dark and dirty, my 3 favorite words. And now to a producer that's worked with some of my all-time favourite labels, including Ram Records, Hospital, Solvent, and most recently, Critical Music. 2 years on from AC13's debut release with Onyx, a mammoth bootleg of Fuji's Fuji La, the producer is returning to the label with this track. And if you've been on his socials, you'll know that he has the vocal chops. And he's clearly a threat because the vocal on this track is his own. This is gonna be good. AC13's output recently has been stellar. It's called Headlights on Onyx Recordings.
When I'm pitch black, moving like a rabbit in the headlights. I'm ice cold, I'm gonna take flight. See, when I leave you blinded by these bright lights, I'ma move into the darkness. Alleviate the stress from on your shoulders. The presence of your oldest. Only break I get is from a cigarette, and hold it to your chest. There's nothing better than the sense of regret when I'm surrounded by the lack of motivation. Searching for the source of stimulation. Whip it up with hints of aggravation. Serve it with a fresh side of joyful isolation. Blame it on the wrong guy and switch up your location. And even when the love's dead, everything is vacant. Feel like I need a new replacement. It's fucking up my vision and I'm feeling too complacent. Yeah. I leave you blinded by these bright lights. I move into the darkness. Everything around me turns around me dark regardless. Sat in the abyss, the bliss is tearing up my heart. And when I pull away, the devil leaves me heartless. Waters are uncharted. Foreign seas of lies are past tense to get started. When I hear him call me Moses, then the seas are getting parted. Seas are getting parted, yeah.
His own voice. Honestly, I can see that going down so well in the rave. And this is like the Afterglow. From another label close to my heart, Galaxy, and I love the Galaxy vibe. It's just feel-good, heart-melting tunes, the kind that make you go, you know? This is a Belgian artist called Hiraith, which I looked up was a Welsh word, and he signed tracks to Shogun, Liquidity, Galaxy, Ram, ... This release is still very much under wraps. It's going to come out on Galaxy later on in the year, but for now, it's going to have to be our little secret, so don't tell anyone. Hope you enjoyed our picks for the premiere episode of Echoes, the Studio Drum and Bass podcast. Thank you so much for going on the journey with us. But fear not, this podcast is not over. I'm now going to hand you over to Ginny from Viper Recordings and Rinse FM, who's going to be talking to Ant TC1 about how to get your track signed to a label.
Well, thank you again for being part of the first episode, because we really wanted to, great to talk to you, so yeah.
You too.
Oh, thank you.
Are you dressed as a peacock?
No,
is that your
this is my lovely, my wall backgrounds. Yeah, it's real. It's like the Zoom background.
Yeah.
Real background.
It's really kind of trippy.
Oh yeah.
No, I like it. No, luckily I've not accidentally taken any mushrooms in my cup of tea this afternoon. So so I can handle it. Any other day I might struggle, but yeah.
Well, you can work better if you microdose, but yeah. Thank you so much for doing this. I know it's like pretty late where you are right now. I can't believe you got stuck in Thailand after lockdown happened.
It's very happy stuck, I'm not going to lie.
All right.
I had some ups and downs, but I'm the happiest I've been in a long time, really. Obviously, I miss my dog, I miss family and friends and stuff. But I just feel like I've adjusted, and I was always wanting to move here long term anyway. So, I only live 45 minutes away from Goldie as well. So,
yeah, there you go.
The work we do together I'd say it's probably been going better than it ever has, because he's not right good with the computer side of stuff. And I'm
really?
A geeky whiz with it all, which is probably why we're a good match.
Yeah, I get you. But cool, yeah. You're a DJ and a producer under Ant TC1. Also own recordings, and you're the events manager at Metalheadz, and you're the artist management coordinator at Outlook and Dimension Festival. Is that right?
I was. Yeah, you might be looking at like an old biography for me, but I left the Outlook and Dimensions position due to workload and just deciding what was best for me, and that role wouldn't have allowed me to come over here and spend time over here as much as I wanted to, because my dream was always really, first and foremost, it was be involved in this music, mostly through DJing and playing music out to people, be it radio or clubs, studio mixers, and I guess I've probably done pretty okay at that. I've luckily got to go around the world playing other people's music and my own music, and doing it in a way that people hopefully like and enjoy. I've had a real good run.
Okay, well, as we said, this topic of getting tracks like onto a label and getting that timing, when you're listening to demos, what context do you usually like listen to them in? Do you have a ritual where you dedicate a day to going through submissions, or is it kind of like here and there? And like, how many times would you listen to a demo itself? Like, would you, stick it on the speakers and like relax and sit down, and then you give it, and that's it. It's one play, and if it's it's an instant yes or no. Or do you kind of have to listen to something maybe a few times over a few days and then...
The word ritual really made me laugh, because I'm just kind of imagining myself like putting the candles on, getting the essential oils out, the headphones set to it, no louder than. I would say not, but what I always do is sometimes I'll flash listen to music on the laptop. This is going to sound really weird, but if it sounds good through the laptop, what I then do is I dash for the headphones and I plug them in, and I'm like, right, I've really got to do this properly. So it's like, if it catches my attention when it's supposed to sound rubbish or at its worst because you heard it through your laptop speakers, then, and the weird thing is, coincidentally, Goldie does exactly the same thing, and I only found this out recently because we talked about like listening to demos and stuff, and he's very keen on. I think he's a little bit more hard of hearing than I am in his older years, and the volume he has the music on in that studio, it's like I can't even stand in there. It's ridiculous. But what he does is, I said to him, do you do this all the time? Do you come down here and just blast music for hours? He goes, no, it's laptop first. He goes, if it pricks my ears, it's in the Dropbox. Then I go down to the computer downstairs in the studio, shut the door, like block. He's in like a soundproof room, and he has it on absolute, like, honestly, deafening levels. But that's how he catches the vibe. I mean, me personally, it's mostly if it's a name that I recognise, the headphones are going straight on, and I just leave the player open. I come back, and it's kind of as and when I get the opportunity to do it. But what I mostly do is I try to listen to demos without any other distractions, because already early in this conversation I can get easily distracted. But what I'll actually do is I'll have the tracks downloaded. I have them all in a folder called demos to listen to, and I turn the internet off so no notifications come up. Nothing else. I'll turn the phone off, and I just literally commit to listening to stuff. But it sounds like it's a very committed approach to listening to demos, and it sounds like I take a lot of care and attention. And there is an element of truth in that, but I'm also semi-lying, because what I also do is I kind of rush through them. I do give it all my attention, but what I do is I'll open up a tune, and I mean, you've got to take into consideration that I get anything above 20 or 30 demos a day in total.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a day. So you imagine all that stacking up on a Saturday. And I will be honest, this is going to sound very ignorant too. If I've got 10 or 12 from one artist and I listen to the first 3 or 4 and they're not quite up to the grade, I won't listen to the rest.
Yeah.
They'll just go straight in the bin. What that doesn't do doesn't mean I'm going to forever ignore that artist. So if they send some new demos in a month's time, I will listen to them again, but I'm expecting to hear a certain level, a level of musicality or production and just great ideas, a great song in simple terms. I'm wanting to hear something great from them generally. I want to know that they've hit. I want to know that they've hit a level in a bar that they're actually even setting for themselves.
Yeah, cool.
And if I can't hear that in 3 or 4 tunes, I'm gonna side with a majority vote on me not hearing it in the rest.
Yeah, no, I get you. What do you do if you're not sure about some demo, or are you never not sure?
There is no not sure, no. I mean, what I always do, I trust my initial judgment. Mentioning Goldie again, he tends to ponder on stuff more than I do, and he'll go back to them. I'm really ruthless. I'll load up the track and I'll go about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes in. So that's usually where the drop is. And again, I can only give you honesty. This is what I do. And a big factor in this is my time, really, and the time to listen to such a huge amount of demos. And I'll go back 2 minutes in. Within 5 seconds, if I'm like, oh, God, that sounds good, I'll go straight back to the beginning and I'll listen to the whole 6, 7, 8 minutes tune. If it's something I just think, nah, it goes straight in the bin.
Yeah.
Sounds cold, but it's just true. It's just honest.
No. It's like, I think. I mean, I'm only speaking from experience with like my friends who are producers, and I know they always want brutal honesty. So if they show me and their other friends like tracks, like, please tell me if it's shit or not. Just want to know, or tell me what I can work on. Like, I don't need you to tell me it's great, even as a friend. Honesty is always appreciated. But saying that you're looking for that level of quality, when do you think an artist should consider themselves ready to sign on a label? It might be a bit difficult to answer, but like, is there a way that they can? Okay, go for it.
I think they should listen to the label and the artist on the label and understand, take a perception of the level of quality, or maybe even, you might have someone thinking, God, half the stuff he puts out, shit, I'm better than them. If that's you, then great, please send me music. And my advice would be A and B. I used to do this a lot. A and B your own music. A and B it for like ideas, the general flow, the construction of the track, the arrangement. Just really A-B, definitely A-B the production, because this is the one thing I'll say about music and musicality. It's always subjective, mostly subjective. I would say the production side of the track, the mix down, the self-mastering you've done before you send a demo off, I don't think that's subjective at all. I think that's measurable completely and 100%. If someone tells you that mix down's not very good and you turn around and say, okay, why? And they're prepared to give you an answer and time as to why, they will give you absolute specifics. And they'll be that skilled themselves that they'll be able to tell you where you've gone wrong.
Yeah.
Your musicality, I mean, someone could tell you if you've played something out of tune or it's lacking arrangement or the track gets a bit stale. Even half of that, when I'm saying it, sounds a little subjective to a degree, but there's some truth in it as well. But Mixdown's productions, if you would speak to someone like TB, you'd probably feel like he's ripping you a new one if he was to tell you what was wrong with it. But he's another guy that'll only ever give you honesty. And I would take it on board. Anyone that you feel is better than you, if you've got anyone that is producing already signed to labels and is willing to give you some time, some feedback, take the feedback from them and take it constructively and go back to the drawing board and get better, because musicians always want to get better. Yeah. I don't think I've ever spoken to a musician who has had an attitude where they're like, oh, I'm the best now. You might get someone in boxing or in some other kind of sport, mixed martial arts, like, I'm the absolute best, no one's going to beat me. I've never come across anyone in music who's like that. These are cool. They're cool.
Yeah. You said, you get 30 odd, 20 to 30 odd demos a day. So that's what that.
Yeah, on average,
150-ish per week. Yeah.
Yeah, on average, maybe.
Saying that, do you have time to give feedback, or maybe you listen to a track and you think, oh, it's not quite there yet, but I'm willing to feedback on that because I have the time, and why not? but most of the time do you not?
You've answered it. You've answered it. You kind of answered for me there. That's exactly it. I mean, if it's just a case of you've sent me 4 tracks, 5 tracks, 10 tracks, and I don't think any of them are good enough to sign, it's hard for me to dedicate time to give feedback, because that feedback would need to be far more long-winded than it would be for a producer who just sent 4 tracks. And I like 3 of them. And the 4th one, I'm a little bit on the fence on. And I'm like, look, you know, I will quite happily go back to them, and it'll be quite a quick and easy process to say, actually, I like it, but there's a few things. You can feel free to give it to other labels as a demo, but if you really, really want me to release it, or you want this to be on your potential EP on the label, this is what I'd like to see changed. And it can usually be 2, 3 things, maybe maximum, sometimes even 1 thing, you know. But I always say to them, look, don't go changing it for me. I can only say to you, this is what I don't like. And the label is always a real kind of a selfish reflection in a way of music that I like. And for me, it's just, I can honestly say the label still to this day it really is just a reflection of music that I like and want to release. And that's it.
Well, you've got great taste. So, so thinking about what you just said, like what do you want to see when people are sending tracks to you? What's important? Like, is the technical production really, it has to be like at a high caliber, or if you hear this musicality and those ideas, are you still willing to give that person a look at?
It's funny you mentioned the word caliber actually when you said that, because it's made me think about Caliber the artist.
Yeah.
And it's like when you listen to some of his early material, the ideas were always absolutely incredible. If you listen to like his first LP on Creative Source, some of the mixdowns are really not very good at all. Yeah. Especially when compared to today's standards, but it certainly didn't stop Fabio signing the LP. In my opinion, an idea can be way stronger than a mixdown can. A mixdown has a limit, you know, it can only be so good. And an idea is, for me, it's limitless. You know, if you listen to the way Mark Syntax used to make his music, the first 16 bars in the track of the drop would come in, and you'd have that screw face on straight away. You'd be like, wow, it's musical, it's got depth, the bass line's incredible, the hook's just amazing. Then this other string or layer or synth would come on top, and then another one would come on top, and it was like the icing on the cake. That, like I said, going back to mentioning Caliber, when someone is sending a demo in, I don't care if the mixdown's rubbish. And I'm speaking really bluntly there. Some people might not like the word rubbish, but I'm just being really honest. Yeah, you know, and I'm always going to be straightforward when I do an interview like this and just say it how it is, because what's the point kind of fluffing it all up and you know, talking almost to aspiring producers with kid gloves, when the reality of it is I'll probably be a lot more blunt when it comes to my response to some of the music if it isn't quite there yet. I've got artists like Black Barrel, for example. When he first sent me music, it was very rough around the edges, and we had conversations about the direction that he wanted to go in, and I've sent people guideline mixdowns. I've put them in touch with other artists for guidance. I've given them mixdown feedback myself. I've even taken projects from them and made additions and adjustments to tracks, and I've not even taken any credit for it, because I'm releasing it on my own label. It's never been for me, that side of stuff. I don't need credit for anything. It's not something I really need. If I'm releasing it on my own label, if I can get it to where it needs to be for me to want to sign it, I will help out with the process. If the idea is that good, I'll help it get to where it needs to be, you know?
For you personally, the ideas just have to be there. It's like the technicity doesn't have to be at the same level. It's a tough one to give one straight answer on. I would say the ideas are more important. And the reason I say that, to really summarise, is that if the ideas are really strong, you know, I've used people like JDLR at Lab Masters, Steve at AT Mastering, Bo at 1087, Lewis at Stardell. TV has been doing quite a lot of recent mastering jobs for me, and he even goes as far as to give some of the artists direct feedback on how they can better it and send him even better pre-masters. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that the support infrastructure from labels and mastering engineers, if the idea is that good and the label wants to sign it, the support is there to get it sounding better, or to effectively send the artist back in with those pointers and bits of feedback to try and get that pre-master a little bit more how it needs to be. I think if you were talking to someone like Lensman in relation to his own label, to North Quarter, he would, I'm guessing, and know him enough to make a hazard a guess here,
he would definitely be a lot more weighed down on the musicality side. He'd be saying the music's most important. The rest, I'm not as concerned about, because most of what he puts out is very, very musically driven.
Well, okay, last question. We have made it to the end. It's been glorious. But what kind of music are both Metalheadz and Dispatch looking for at the moment?
Anything we like.
Anything we like.
What a terrible answer that was.
No, maybe it was a terrible question.
I think it links back into what we were saying earlier. Goldie's the same as me. As far as our musical approach goes and our opinion on this music and this genre, we very much wear the music on our sleeve. And it's like, if we listen to a track and it gives us that, the hair standing up on your arms feeling, we don't care where it's from, we don't care who it is, we might not even know who it is, we don't know we really just don't care. We are at that person full throttle. Have you got a number? Have you got an email? Usually we'll just call them while the tune's still playing.
I love that.
And it's great to see, because, I feel like I'm knocking on. He's older than I am. He doesn't listen to this, by the way.
He's immortal. He's immortal.
Yeah, just to see that, like, excitement that I can't imagine that excitement being any different when he was younger to how he is now. It's like, it's a joy for me to see. And I feel very much the same way when I hear something, and it really just like, the buzz is just, and there's some great music coming. I'm looking forward to releasing it. I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm the lucky guy that gets to hear it right at the start. Yeah, honestly, but this year, can't say thanks to, not just kind of in the realms of Dispatch and Metalheadz, but just all the artists that have, in what have been really unusual times, and they've somehow really turned it on when it's come to writing music. Because for me, honestly, I'm on hearts across most of the labels that I'm hearing. I've heard some of the best music I've heard since the mid-90s. I've been into this for a real time. As a music fan, hearing the quality of the music, it's like hearing some of this great, it's kind of what's getting people through some days even.
I think music saved my life in lockdown, so I'm not...
It's escapism for a lot of people, because when you're in that zone listening to a tune, nothing else matters, and if a tune takes you there, it's it has me a lot this year. And the only downside with that is it's just that there's that bittersweet feeling of, oh God, if we don't open clubs again for 6 months or whatever, this tune might not even ever get played in a club. We'll be on to the next new thing by then.
I know what you mean. I've seen tweets like, wonder what it's going to be like when we go back to raving. Will DJs be bringing out tracks that have come out over the last year and a half? Are we going to hear stuff that's current at the time? Like, it's something I've seen people talking about. So I'm interested to hear, what it's going to sound like and what's going to get played, because there's been a lot of good music coming out over the past year, actually, and I'm excited. I want to hear it in the club. I want to hear it being played.
You know what my prediction is? It sounds naff, but I reckon someone's actually going to do this. Someone's going to do it at a club. You're going to see him on a flyer. You're going to see like a vinyl set. Yeah, which is fine.
I saw that. Oh my God, I'd lose my.
You'll see that. You still see that. You'll see old school set, but I think you're probably going to see in brackets 100% COVID set.
Yeah,
where they're just playing music from the COVID period. I reckon someone's going to do it. I think someone's going to do it. They will. It's not going to be me, but someone will.
Yeah, who's brave enough to do it for?
Someone will. Someone will. A lot of people love a gimmick. Someone will do it. I guarantee it.
Okay, is there anything that you would like to add?
That's all good. Just hoping it all opens up and we can get out and hear this music how it should be heard. Dancing in a field or in a nightclub on a booming sound system. That's the thing I'm crossing my fingers for the most. Not just for me, but for everybody else as well.
No, it's been a long, hard year. So it's the first time I step out on that dance floor again.
Sure, yeah.
My worries are away.
That's everything for now. This has been Echoes. Studio Drum and Bass's premiere podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back next month. See ya.